Hello, and welcome to our channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe for our future videos. I did something horrible during my armed services, and I need to tell this to someone. So, I did this thing and I feel very bad for it, and need to get it off my chest. Story brings us back almost 10 years now, to the cold heart of Finland's Defense Forces training grounds, in and around Kikala Airfield. My role in the Army was basically to be cannon fodder, a rifleman. Jaeger, without any of the cool gear. During my service, I got pretty sickly, won't specify as to not single myself out, which meant I missed a lot of training. Not much of a loss. Just less time eating MREs and flopping around cold, damp forests like a dolphin on dry land. Anyway, during my service I got pretty sickly, won't specify as to not single myself out, and I was off the training quite a bit. Was not too much of a loss, though, as I only missed eating MRS and crawling through cold and damp forests, trying to imitate a dolphin on dry land. This particular time, we had a 10-day stint of forest warfare training, but I was getting bored lying in the bed ward, watching TV while eating snacks, so I wanted to go out with the boys. This is a lie. I had to join them out there, carry my rifle around, keep fires going intense, serve food for the starving brothers in arms, and just make myself of use wherever possible. But mainly just being bored out of my mind and lying in the Vempa tent, which was sanctified for the losers who were forced to attend but couldn't do much of anything. This tent wasn't camouflaged, hidden somewhere in the middle of the forest, rather in the middle of a sparsely forested part of the training grounds, right near the landing strip, and right in the middle of the area that the troops were meant to eat in, one person under every tree. This is important. So, being bored and basically out of useless things to do, I decided to pleasure myself. But not in the way that any sane person would do, wanting to feel revitalized and alive, with a little drizzle of thrill sprinkled on top. I did what any 18-years-old rascal would do. I stripped fully naked and started to jack off standing up. The tent's opening was a little ajar, so a little stream of cold air was making its way to my already shriveled-up gonads, and I had to inch myself closer to the firebox situated in the middle of the tent. Basically standing there, right next to burning hot stove, dick in hand, tent door open, hunched over like Gollum, just having the time of my life. The comedic value was not lost on me, so it was a varied mix of smile and that moronic face that every man wields as they go to town on themselves. It was very hard, without any visual stimulation, so I had to go at it for a while. There I am, doing my best to get this project to fruition. I suddenly start to hear my brethren approaching to get their grub on. I started to go harder and faster, to the point of basically punching my nuts over and over again, faster and faster. As for my purview, I should be serving the food for these wet-clothed, tired and exhausted men of war. I start hearing muffled calls for me, and the all-too-famous service-long question, where the fuck is May live? I couldn't stop. I had put so much time and effort into all of this. I had to finish. I wouldn't stop even as I hear my buddies, taking their usual spots at the foot of every single tree all around the tent. I have to admit, I just waited for one to peer in and see the shit show that was unfolding, but the difference in lighting conditions were in my favor, so nobody saw me. I have to admit, this weird mix of fear and risk of getting caught was the little push my already ruined young mind needed. I started unloading my 9 days' worth of filth I had stored up and did my best to catch the flying forbidden love syrup with my helping hand. But the pressure was just too much. I managed to spray myself, mine and my buddy's sleeping bags. Probably some other stuff too, but the worst of it, the red-hot stove with the roaring fire in it. At first I hit the side of it, but the TSSSS sound startled me and made me aim at a higher azimuth combined with the decreasing chamber pressure made the ordnance land right on top of it. It was a sizable pump too. Post-nut clarity settling in, as I watched my Leidenfrost-affected dancing ball of shame slowly sizzling and shriveling into a white crunchy patch. The smell hit me. And when I tell you it was unpleasant, it is putting it mildly. It had to be a mix of burning hair, 30-day-old sour milk, with a hint of foot sweat mixed in. I panicked, cleaned up best I could, threw my gear on, and walked briskly the fuck out of there. Went to grab my portion of the grub, lied about being asleep, and didn't hear the call to arms, ate, and tried not to burst out laughing. Springing question I didn't want to answer to. I hoped the fresh winter air would get rid of the smell, but it didn't. The hypothesis is that the massacre on the stove kept emitting the cries of despair of the children I would never father. My tent mates kept whining about some disgusting smell that, for the life of me, I couldn't smell myself. Thank God it was the second to last day of training. I don't think I could have put up with it any longer myself. Good times.